Hello, hello, hello. Different location. We are live. Hello. We're
Hello.
having beautiful faces join us.
Hello, hello.
Marisha,
Hey.
a second. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Where are you
Marissa's
at?
joining us shortly. I am in Texas at the Women Evolve conference, trying to get my God on and my business on and my all the great things on.
Oh,
Love that.
that sounds like so much fun.
It's beautiful. It's the first day and it is so amazing. Let me see what's going on. I want to make sure that we get Marisa in before we start just talking because I'm sure we're going to be able to go on and on and on. Let's see
Sure.
what's happening. Okay, I think let's try one more time. He should be able to join us shortly. Then we're going to introduce you ladies, hear all the amazing things that you have going on. And there he is, the man himself.
Hey.
I have no idea why this took so long to connect, but I'm here.
You know, I do like to play with us just to see how bad we wanted it. We've been showing up for 8 weeks in a row.
Yes.
Let me tell you, it's been a journey. It's been a great journey, and it's such a nice thing to have these two young ladies join us for our final installment of the IG Live series. So, yeah, it's been a great journey the last couple of weeks.
It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. So before we jump in, it is our 8-part series, and today is the 8th part of that series with Black Travel Expo because we're coming to Atlanta in just a few weeks here. We're counting the days for Black Travel Expo. If you have not gotten your Expo pass already, we don't want you to miss out on all the amazingness that's going to happen in the room, all of the dope conversations, all of the amazing speakers. So it's not too late. We're going to drop the link in the chat so you guys can go and get your expo passes. But
I'll do it.
I'm gonna, oh, okay. Well, Maurice going to do it. But in the meantime and in between time, today we are talking about the future of content creation. And I'm going to hand it to Maurice, the man himself, so he can make introductions and do all the great things.
So, yeah, thank you so much again, Beatrice and Troy, for joining us this evening. I have to make an announcement regarding what we did last year for the Black Travel Expo. We had a content creator forum, and Troy showed up, and she was actually our 2023 Content Creator of the Year winner. And how that came about is that we had our content creators come to the forum to meet other content creators. And then we set them out to do a task, and that was to cover the event that weekend. So they had all access pass to the expo. And so they were, we judged them based on their post expo, their experience, and Troy did a phenomenal job. There were quite a few people that did great work, but we felt that hers was presented the best, and so we were very happy to have her during that time, and looking forward to having her again this year, a more of an elevated platform as well, so that we can hear her story, how she got started, and what she's doing now. So, and it's great to have Beatrice on board as well. So let's kick this off. I'm going to start with Troy, Traveling T, right?
Hello.
Yes. And so let me ask you a question. I have a series of questions here. So can you tell us a little about your journey as a content creator and what inspired you to start? Oh, I can't hear you.
Well, hear me?
We can now.
Okay.
There we go.
So pretty I when I first moved abroad about years ago to I was a travel writer. Like that was the reason that I moved to Thailand. I wanted to do a career as a travel writer. So it made Since you get into that, that way of having fun, you promote it by social media. Like that was kind of what was happening. That was like 6 or 7 years ago. And what ended up happening was that as time has gone on, people have started to follow me. So then that's kind of how I became a content creator, because in the beginning, I was just a person. I was able to be the way
Hey,
that
hold on real quickly. Hold on real quickly. Samela, can you just mute your phone for a second, and then when you come back in, just unmute yourself?
So
There we go.
yeah, getting into content creation kind of just felt like a no-brainer. It was something that I fell into because I'm that young millennial age where like I grew up with the internet and on the internet, right? So it was just something I was doing, and then it just turned in and like blossomed into other stuff. That's really how it happened.
And what about you, Beatrice?
For me, I've always been addicted to travel ever since I studied abroad in China. And after college, I was always wanting to do something more so like travel related, but I ended up in the financial space work wise. But it wasn't until the pandemic that I really wanted to get into that travel space. And of course, nobody could travel anymore. And what I ended up doing is I tried to niche down a lot more, so just having travel within Chicago. I would go to different hotels and do staycations. I would talk about different restaurants in the area. And finally, when things more so opened up, when we can travel, I was finally like, okay, I can get you guys this travel content, because I really love giving like recommendations of places to go. And I feel like getting that Black perspective is something that I really value and love, to be able to hear what people have gone through, especially in different countries. But that's just, travel is me. So I just love to be able to try and give those little tidbits to people.
Yeah, I've been following both of you, and you certainly put out a lot of really good original organic content. It's storytelling, right? And so we want to be able to expose, especially our community, places that people may dream of or may have considered going but not sure. And you're there telling the story, or at least giving them a visual as to, what things look like in certain locations and destinations. So Troy, what's the most, I would say, rewarding part of being a content creator for you?
Uh, the most rewarding part is actually inspiring somebody to go do something. The most important, if I do nothing at all, I want people to know that Black girls can do anything that they see their white counterparts doing, you know? So I think like I just recently posted a video about a Nile River cruise that I went on when I went to Egypt. And it has like there, if you're looking at social media, like people could share your post or they save your posts. It brings me so much joy to see like over 100 people have saved my post so that they can use that when they go on their trip. Like it is just such a joy to be able to inspire and give somebody information that they will use, that is making them a better person, and that they trust me and my word. Like they're like, yeah, traveling T said it's cool, so okay, let's do it. It's a really important thing to me. It feels really good.
What about you, Beatrice?
For me, I feel like one of the most rewarding things is being able to connect to other like minded people that also love to travel. And that education piece is something that I always love, to be able to try and give as much value as I can when I'm providing my recommendations on things to do. So I think being able to connect to people, and the engagement, the comments, as Troy said, the saves, the shares, we're going out and reaching so many people. And that's really what I love to be able to do, is connect, and it can span all over the world.
Well, Samela, you can jump in at any time. Just unmute yourself,
No,
okay?
I'm
But I'm
like,
gonna I'm gonna
my
just
ideas. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm like
go
so
for it.
excited. So, To you ladies' point, I agree. Like, it's beautiful to see, because I even get inspired, right? Even though I'm a travel founder, I don't get to travel as much as I would like to. And so being able to see you guys take these trips, take these journeys, and go to these places, I am one of those people who like save stuff, like, okay, think about this later on. Think about this later on when you want to take a trip. But how do you all deal with like feedback? Do you have like a feedback loop on like people telling you, oh, I took that trip after you recommended it? Like, how does that help evolve your travel experiences and the content that you share?
Any one of you
I
can
feel
answer that.
like I feel like the feedback part is so crucial in even just the elevation of my own content. When people say, "Oh, I went to that place. Do you have recommendations on like where to go?" And then the people actually come back to tell me that they went to this particular place and I inspired them to go to XYZ. I think that the feedback is really good, and when it comes to like the comments and engagement, I think asking those follow-up questions are really great if somebody like may be piquing interest, just to get like a little bit more information from them to see, because I'm genuinely interested, like, well, how was it, like, keep me in the loop. So I think that that's really cool when people end up either commenting or DMing me after the fact that they were able to go somewhere after I had suggested a place that was really cool to me.
Definitely. I feel like what normally happens is it's interesting. It's kind of backwards in the way that it happens, but people will see what I post and then that prompts people to book a travel consultation with me. So I'm actually able to get feedback by way of somebody coming to me and being like, "Hey, I saw that you were just in this place or that you did that. Could you help me? Can I get some recommendations? Can you give me the rundown on a place?" And then I'm able to do that, and then it just kind of like snowballs into somebody being like, "Oh, T did this for me," or "She helped me with this." And then people do always come back and circle back, like Beatrice said. People circle back and they're like, "Hey, I took your advice. It was really great. Thanks for the suggestion. Like, I'm trying it right now." So it's one of those things where it makes you so, it feels really good for people to trust you. I think that's it. Like, for somebody to trust your expertise, and for them to like, travel is something that is so personal, and it can be something that's very scary, and it can be something that really like kind of makes you shed layers. So it's really interesting when somebody reaches out to you and says, "Hey, thanks for assisting me in doing something that was going to make me a better person." You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, that speaks to me because I own a travel company. I've been taking people over to Africa for the last 15 plus years. It all started with my love for South Africa. And so I've gone there so many times that people just, and I post here and there. I'm leading to something else here, but you're right about that. When you travel someplace and you can actually speak about it and you can talk about it because you've lived it, you've experienced it, and people are more relaxed to talk to you about traveling to certain destinations. So let's talk about motivation. I've traveled a lot of places. I would say probably in the last year, from Kenya, Tanzania, um, South Africa. I did a river cruise with Ama Waterways up the uh, in France and other places as well. And I had my camera out and I was taking video but I didn't really post anything. Like, how do you get, like, I should be out, like, I should be number one, right? All the places that I travel to, I should be like, put this all together, music and all that. Like, and then by the time I get the video all together, I'm like exhausted, right? So how do you stay motivated, and inspired to create like content consistently?
Well, if you don't mind, Beatrice, I'll do this one. Pretty much it's like, so I am like in a constant state of moving around as a global social media strategist, like living in Thailand, having clients in Ghana, having clients in the East Coast of the United States, right? I am currently since I've been in the US, I've been here for about 6 or 7 weeks now, and I leave on November 4th. I am in a period of I am not capturing new content. So I am only using content that I already have. I am like, there's no reason right now that I need to be capturing new content. So I am just pushing out content. And what's happening, you're talking about the motivation piece. The motivation is that somebody somewhere is going to say, somebody somewhere needs you to motivate them, to inspire them to do something. And I know that what I post and what I put out there, like it, there is a small black girl who needs to be able to be like, there's a girl with braids and she lives in Thailand. And I also think I would like to live in Thailand. Like for me, that's what it has always been about. Even as my start wanting to be a travel writer, like I am here to show people who look like me that they can do anything that they've decided to do. Like that. That's it. Like if I don't tell you about traveling, who is going to tell you?
You know, I need
Tell you.
to have that attitude. Yeah, I really do because it's a lot of work. I think for me, once I get into the rhythm, I'm there. It's just getting into first gear, right? And first gear is getting the video, and then second gear is putting it all together. You know, so once I get there and get into that rhythm, you know, like getting up in the morning and taking a shower and getting into that rhythm like that, then I'll probably be more motivated to keep going so that it becomes now a part of my life, right? Okay. What do you, what keeps you motivated, Beatrice?
What keeps me motivated, I think, besides a routine, because a lot of times the routine can be very mundane. I feel that being able to kind of change up the content in a way is something that I always like to do when it comes to the different ideas that I have in my head. I have so many ideas that I just have in my iPhone notes of like different concepts and trying to get like B-roll and, as T said, like just having that backlogged videos and everything like that, and just trying to make something out of nothing, I guess you could say. When you may feel burnt out, content creation is now my full-time job, and so
Wow.
I'm just trying to navigate things to where, all right, I don't want to get burnt out, I want to try and do something different. And a lot of times doing that one different thing that you don't think is gonna hit is gonna hit, and you're like, I tried, you know, like I actually put out the content, and that's really all that you need to do. Is just, you have the content, you're skilled, you're trying to, at the end of the day, at least for me, I'm really just trying to educate, and that's what's keeping me motivated, is educating and inspiring people to travel.
So So
Go ahead.
Dumandi just posted going around the world on Monday stole all your info. So he's getting
Hey,
ideas, right?
follow them, and engage with their content. So, ladies, like, what type of, if someone was trying, and someone, the other people, but also me, right? Because I feel what Marissa's talking about in terms of like, I have tons of folders like unused content, to use content, ready to use, and I'm like folders, folders, folders. But what would be some key gems that you can give to us newbies who think we really about that life, but we don't know yet, but you guys can potentially push us over the edge to, take a better stride at it?
Um, Beatrice, if you don't mind, I'll tap in. So I'm actually writing, literally, it's so funny. I am writing an ebook right now about social media and content creation and the power of authenticity and how that's such an important piece to content creation. So one of the things that I say to people is I tell everybody who I work with, because I also do like social media. I'm a social media strategist for different people. The first thing I tell anybody who is getting into it to do is to try to post twice a week for 6 weeks. Start like that. try to post twice a week for 6 weeks. 6 weeks is enough time for you to get into the routine of something. It gives you enough time to see how it feels. Ask yourself, how did it feel when I posted that out? How do I feel like anxious or nervous? Do I feel exhausted? You kind of spend time doing that. And then once you get into that groove, come up with what is your weekly posting. So I do it phonetically. So it's like Mondays, you might do something about mindfulness, right? So like my personal traveling T-scat calendar looks like Mondays, I could post whatever. Tuesdays, I have to post travel tips. Wednesdays, I could post whatever. Thursdays, I have to post myself talking. Fridays, I typically try to post something about like my services. So it's kind of like breaking your content down into smaller parts makes it so that it's not this big giant conglomerate that you're looking at. And it's actually much easier to digest, kind of like cutting up your food. You know what I mean? Can't eat a burger in one whole mouth, one bite. Gotta cut it up. So that's my suggestion.
That's a great way to break it down, like in layman's terms, so that people like myself can understand, how that works. Because, I was thinking about, as soon as you were saying that, I was like, oh, there's AI, there's ChatGPT, like put together a content creation schedule or something like that. And that's a great tool to have, but, then you got to execute it, right? Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Um,
where the
but
power is. That's where the power is, executing it.
Executing it, yeah. So, what trends are out there right now in content creation? Do you think are worth paying attention to right now? What trends in content creation do you think are worth paying attention to right now? Beatrice, anyone?
I feel like the trends come and go so quickly, honestly, depending on the platform. When it comes to trends, I think that it can be good to get to them quickly, so that you can hop on it. I mean, audio is trending. There's so many things that
Oh,
can be trending, but at the same time, I think having that authenticity is always good as well, because there's just some things when it comes to trends that, I mean, it can work for you. It can be like in that same lane that you want to try and do. But I can't think of any like right now that I'm on, other than like trending audio, I think. And when it comes to the trending audio, which can at sometimes like help boost your posts, I think that that can be good as a way to like engage your audience and possibly get them in your circle if they have not already been exposed to your content. But then at the same time, it could also like sway them away from your content if it's something that's not necessarily in your lane. So I think trying to continue to be like true to your niche is always good. And there's a ton of audio that I have saved that I want to try and do. But at the same time, I think that that like originality of having that particular sound either without audio or not, I think that that's also still good. What do you think,
okay.
T?
Thank you for turning it over to me. I think it's interesting because Beatrice, you are a full-time content creator. Do you work with other people to assist them with their content ever or their social
Mm,
media?
good question.
In some instances, I do. I've done like a little bit of
Okay.
part-time work with different businesses, but within my niche of travel, a lot of it has to do with Black-owned businesses. So I can do that locally, I can do that internationally, but my bread and butter, if you will, is really trying to uplift and amplify Black-owned businesses.
Love that. And so I think that's really interesting because being like a full-time content creator for the content that you create looks really different from like some of the work that I do, which is like strategizing social media. So it's interesting when you talk about trends, like there are some trends, there are things that are trending right now. One of the really interesting things is this really off the cuff, unhinged form of social media and platform usage Go check out Nutter Butter's TikTok page and check out what's the Scrub Daddy's TikTok page. When I'm talking
Okay.
off the cuff, like unhinged content, but that's like doing numbers, it's so
Yeah.
interesting. It's so weird, but it is. So this really off the cuff, kind of like unhinged, kind of like depths of your brain that nobody should really be like putting out outside the brain, but like what
Right.
they thing is really trending right now. I would also say that people are in a space where people want to listen to people talk again. So like YouTube's long form content is really good. TikTok, people want to hear you talk. They want to hear you tell a story. So while it's interesting, it's like what is like specifically trending, it's like life lessons, stories that you can tell people that offer somebody like new insight, new understanding. That's big right now. People are eating that kind of stuff up. And on Instagram, you've got the trending audios. You can always see a trending audio. It'll have a little arrow next to the song on Instagram. And on TikTok, when it comes to the trends, you can always go into the creator search fund or creator search. I'll put it into the caption because I remember it. But that way on TikTok, if you tap into that on TikTok, you can see what types of things your followers are looking for. You can see where there are gaps in content. So then you can start making content about that if you got the
Mhm.
expertise. Just kind of some tips and tricks to boost your content, stuff like that.
That's excellent. Both of you have given some great advice. I see here Carly says that I say I am the trend. I can't be anybody else but me. That's a good point because there's only you, right? So you can create a trend that nobody else has or doing. I mean, wow. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Let me see what else. Go ahead.
Yes, and to my correction, I dropped the gem and then said it was from B, but it was really from T. So let me get myself together and get it together. But they both dropping gems, and you guys have me on the edge of my seat because I like to think of myself as like a baby content creator, but not for real. Like I'm trying to get my feet wet. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not really wanting to take it serious. So you ladies are doing this and making it happen. Where do you see the future of content creation going? Like, what do you believe is the future of content creation and the power of it?
I feel like the future of content creation is really the Google searches of the world, if I'm being honest. When it comes to content creation and social media, think about it. You're doing a Google search. A lot of times, as of late, the top search results are TikTok, are Instagram. People are being a lot more visual. People want to get accounts from real life people, and social media has become it when it comes to millennials, Gen Z, all of that. People are really wanting to get that authentic view from people and continuing to do so. I mean, in the influencer budget, the amount of money that goes to influencers and content creators has skyrocketed in the past 5 or so years. So I think that it's definitely here to stay, and again, why I think that content creation is so crucial right now.
Also, Beatrice, everything that you said, absolutely. Yes. Another thing, and I'm sure you know of this, but UGC content, user generated content, that is the future of social media. Exactly as Beatrice said, people want to hear real life accounts about things. It's so interesting. It's like as we step into this space of like artificial intelligence and chat GPT and all of these things that can kind of think for us, people it comes down to the biological desires of human beings, that social capacity, that trust in wanting to trust someone that you know or someone that you feel like you just look at them and you're like, I trust what they're saying, right? They always say like that's why, what was it, we're homo sapiens, before us we're like the Neanderthals. They always are like homo sapiens, we surpassed, like we continued because we could gossip. That's what they say. Neanderthals couldn't figure out how to talk to each other. But one thing a Homo sapien was going to do was chat. Okay, they had tea. So that's so we ended up gossiping and talking, so we love it. It's like that UGC that like you feel like somebody down the street is talking about, yeah, you got to go here. You like, okay, I'm going. Absolutely. Just like that.
Yeah,
True.
I when I, for traveling tea, I remember this clip that you did, and I used it last year when you were on a bridge. I don't know if you was in France or somewhere. I don't know where you were, but I used it to promote you. And you know, it's like a fly in, and then you flew back out, and you were there, and you turned perfectly around to the camera, and I was just like, how did she do that? You know what I'm saying? So the question that comes to my head is like, what's one piece of content, T, and Beatrice, you can add to this. What's one piece of content you created that you particularly are proud of, and why?
OMG, that is such a good question. What piece of content am I ultra proud of that I created? I have this one video. It's actually not from my own personal Instagram that I've created it. It's actually from an Instagram account that I manage. And I made this video on TikTok, and it was back when it was a Beyonce dance. It was like a dance challenge on TikTok a long time ago. And I made that video because we work with Black girls doing like internships and mentorships. And I recorded those girls doing it. And they're kids, you know what I mean? They're like 12 and 13 years old. But like they had so much fun doing it, and the authenticity of who they are and their Black girlhood shined through. And then it led to like other people getting to know the organization and reaching out to us and talking to us. And then it led to me talking about lack of funding for organizations. And then it led to literally the city of Philadelphia like has invited me to City Hall for a content creators day like next Friday, because I'm a Philadelphian with an influential following. So it's like, it feels like the stuff that I do where I'm able to showcase other people and like really capture their messaging and who they are, like what is their brand image. If I can capture that, that's always a really special piece of content that I've created.
That's huge.
For me, I would have to say when I'm able to amplify destinations and their Black owned businesses. Because when it
Mm.
to our businesses, our local establishments, they may not be seen in as a light to, oh, I'm running to that place, but I think that it may just be a lack of exposure when it comes to that, and it may not be like right in front of you to be able to actually go and visit. But my true intentions of going to any destination, whether or not that be domestically or globally, I am researching the Black owned businesses and I'm going to support them. And it really just warms my heart being able to like connect with these business owners and people that work at these establishments, especially during and after the pandemic. Businesses just across the board have been closing. They're temporarily closing. They're closing. New businesses are opening, and the sustainability of so many local establishments, I think, is just so all over the place. I really want to be able to try and put my hard-earned dollars back into the Black owned business. And when trying to connect with destinations, that is always my selling point, because I want to try and help uplift them. And being able to have these communities where they're actually seeing the content or motivating others to be able to go to these places and see them, it's just really one of the most rewarding things for me.
Wow, that speaks volumes because you know that's. I'll just spend a little second on this. That's the reason why I started the Black Travel Expo, so that I could provide a platform for content creators, up and coming content creators as well, to really zone in on what they're passionate about, you know, so that we can see um, your life and your community so that we can be exposed outside of our four walls, not just traveling internationally, but locally as well. And so I think we still have untapped areas of content creation that still need to be looked at. Samela, did you have a question? Because I have probably two or three more, and then
No,
we
I
can
mean, I
wrap it
just
up.
like have so many questions for them, and they're just dropping so many gems. I'm trying to keep up everything. This is so amazing. Yes, I'm sure what other people want to know, and I definitely want to know, is how did you ladies decide or figure out how to monetize what you're doing, right? Because it sounds like you guys are speaking from a place of passion, impact, influence, but how do you make it make sense for yourself so that you can continue to produce from an authentic place? And like, how do you target these businesses? Do you say, hey, I want to, record it, or do you record it and then tell them that you're posting it? Like, how does that generally work?
What I will do when it comes to monetization, I mean, pitching is one of the biggest things that I can say to do, especially starting out. First and foremost, having that content so that you can provide a portfolio to show your work, and then pitching. Because at the end of the day, who knows you? You have to be very understanding that every person in the world does not know you, frankly. And you have to get your name out there. That's really what you have to do. Thankfully, we have the internet where we can actually just send an email. Before social media and the internet, I don't know how people got their names out there, but to be able to just send out an email to introduce yourself and say how you are valuable to that particular business. I'll be reaching out to different destinations, tourism boards, hotels, local businesses. And I think one of the most important things is going out and networking. Networking is so, so important. Getting your voice out there and trying to craft your elevator speech so that people know who you are. And if they may not end up working with you, maybe they can refer somebody that wants to work with you that may make sense. But really, just putting your name out there, networking in person, just shooting a message, I think that's really all you can do.
Absolutely. Definitely networking, Beatrice. That's a huge one, and like being brave enough to put yourself out there. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't make no money off of social media. I do this strictly for the love of the game, okay? I don't make no money off social media. I make money off of strategizing and managing other people's social medias. I don't make no money off of social media. That was never my plan. That was never my goal. Now, if people gift me things, I do receive gifts from people, and I'm very specific about that. Beatrice, I'm sure you know, like, y'all not sending me nothing to review. You're gifting me something because you're not going to have me caught up on taxes and be like, she done got
Right.
$5,000 worth of not. No, I did not. Okay. So I will do like gifted things. The other thing that I do is sometimes people do reach out to me and want me to support something for them. Like an eSIM did it, and then I send them over. Like that's a one-off thing that happens. Somebody finds me, is like, oh, could I pay you? And I'm like, well, if it's something that like I stand for and that makes sense for my audience, I don't mind, absolutely. But yeah, no, I like don't really make money off of social media. It's never been my priority. I've been lucky, and it's like doing social media and not getting paid for it is what actually doing someone else's social media is what got me to the Black Travel Expo, and then that's what got me here. So I got sent to the Black Travel Expo when I went the first time. So it was very interesting, right? Definitely, I think you gotta, if you want to make some money off of this, you need to talk to Beatrice, because that's our good sis right here. She want to tell you what to do. Now, me, like you said, I'm just in this of the game. I'm like, I don't know, I'm sexy. Let's put it on the internet. I'm sexy and I got info. Here, have that's it.
And that's good
Oh man.
enough. Hello.
And that's good enough. That's all I got. What more do you want from me?
Oh man, I have two more questions. Can I jump in, Samila? I guess so. So I have the next question I have, and then I'm going to have one more. So if she has one more, that's fine. Then we'll wrap up. But actually, and while I'm asking this question, if anybody's on the line, if you want to ask a question, go ahead and put it in the text, and then we'll read it. Okay. So if you could collaborate with a creator or brand, who would it be and why?
I know mine. I'm
Go
serious.
for it.
I'm serious. I'm manifesting this in the sense that I'm not actively doing anything to make it happen, but I'm thinking about it a lot. Like, you know what I mean? I need Tangle Teaser, which is a type of hairbrush, and I need Veet, like Veet. Veet is an
What is that?
incredible. I know Veet, the laser hair removal cream, or not laser, but the hair removal cream, like Nair. Like
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
it's so crazy, but I'm telling you, it's like, how do these things connect to travel? Because as a girl, you can't travel
Mm.
razors if you need to shave and do stuff. So the best product you could have to remove body hair is Veet. It's a travel hack. It's a life hack. And Veet is sold around the world. So it's worldwide. It's a travel life hack. So yeah, Veet and Tangle Teaser. Tangle Teaser for brushing my hair. Because if you're a black girl, you don't know what's going to be happening. But you need a good brush.
I'm gonna write this down. Tangle teaser and
Yes, I
beat.
know, right? And I'm trying to think, do I know either of those brands or those founders or
Right.
anything? Because you know that's how manifestation work, right? You put it
Yeah,
in the atmosphere and watch it come back to you.
yes.
Somebody, if you watch it on this live and
You
you
know
have
somebody.
the
Help me
connections,
out.
send it T's way. We want to make this happen before the end of the year. We just gonna go ahead and put
So
it
what?
on out there even more before the end of the year.
We're claiming it.
That's what I'm talking about. Beatrice, if you could collaborate with any creator or brand, who would it be and why?
Brand, I would probably say I would love to work either with Trinidad or Barbados because I have Trini and Bajan roots. And I think being able to go full circle and actually travel there to amplify their Black businesses. And it's interesting because a lot of these Caribbean countries, they are very mixed. There's a lot of Afro Trinidadians, Indo Trinidadian, the same on the Bajan side. But at the same time, with a lot of establishments like hotels and such, a lot of them are not Black owned. Some
Oh,
of them are not. I mean, depending on the establishment. So I think being able to continue to just promote Black and just see what the country is like, I think that would be really cool.
yeah. So how that works, and we can talk more about this offline, is that like for me, for example, I have the Black Travel Expo. I have two Oceans Traveling Tours. I talk to DMOs, DMCs all the time, do fam trips, all of that. So there again, it's all about your network and people that have relationships or at least have people's attention because of relationships that or partnerships that they have. Don't be afraid to ask. Hey, tap me on the shoulder. Hey, Maurice, do you know somebody at Trinidad Tourism or Barbados? Yeah, yeah. Here's a contact. Let me do an invitation to introduce you, and let's attach your deck, right? And go about it that way. That's. I mean, hey, that's easy. Email here. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got
So we got
you.
to stop being protectors of our bubble, and because that if we open up the bubble, it could actually present an opportunity for me as well. You just never know. Sometimes you got to give up a little to get a little, right? And so. It's so important. That's another topic of discussion. I'm glad we're having this because I think it's going to come up at the expo when we have these roundtable or fireside chat discussions, panel discussions about collaborations and partnerships. A lot of content creators are on their own, they're in silos, and you just never know who knows someone. They may have had a deal that they had to turn down, but they may not know that, oh, T could do this or this this person can do this, or Beatrice can do this. You never know. So we've got to really talk to each other, so that we can share the love. There's plenty out here for everyone, right? And so I'm going to ask one more question, and then I got a plug. What was my final question? About future goals. What are your goals for content creation in the next year? You just want to kind of go along with it, or you say, okay, by 2025, I want to be able to do this, or, you know?
My goals, what, come on now. Now you're asking hard questions. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's the last question.
I'm a Libra. I be going with the flow. I'd be living, I'd be like, taking life as it comes. You know what I mean? But
Just short up cute, huh?
you know what I mean? What I would like to do with my content creation is I would actually like my platform to grow. So in the next year, like I've got about close to 25,000 followers on Instagram. I would actually like to double that. So I'd like to
Yeah.
be at about 1,000 within the next year. Um, I would probably like to be doing like hosting 2 trips a year. Like I'd like to work with a company that sends people on trips, and then I can be like a vibe curator. Look at that. Look at it. Because I'm doing that in Ghana during Dedi December coming up. I'm actually someone's like, literally my job title is a vibe curator. Never in a million years. Can you imagine? Like, that's crazy. So I'd like to tap into more of that, like me being a vibe curator for trips, and me just bringing people along to journeys and making sure that people has a nice time, and then documenting that experience. That's something that I would like to do.
It's interesting you mentioned that, and thank you for mentioning it. As you know, I own a travel company, but just come to me whenever you're ready.
Full tech,
Um,
full
I'm
tech.
working with I'm working with a content creator. Will be Richie Sky, and he has a following. And what we're doing is that so many people have inquired about purchasing property or investing in property in South Africa, and that's my backyard, right? Real estate development, all of that, and so we're teaming up with him to have quarterly trips. He's going to come along, bring his followers that's interested in doing a trip to Cape Town, South Africa. We show them wonderful Cape Town, and then we do like a real estate orientation to show them various properties that they can invest in and buy and that sort of thing. Yeah. So we're starting that in April. The first one is the first trip is in April. Yeah. So look out for advertisement, newsletters, and broadcasting about that coming up really soon. Before the expo, we'll make the announcement.
Listen, ask and you shall receive.
Hey, listen, Beatrice, any goals for next year you want to do as far as content creation?
Yes, goals. I had a little bit more time than T. I would probably say growing as well. I'll echo what T said. I feel like I have pitched to so many different conglomerates. A lot of them have a minimum amount of followers that they want in terms of working with you. I definitely would love to grow my community for however long that ends up taking. I'm okay with it. But within the year, I will actually be traveling to Australia. I don't know exactly when, but I got my Australian visa already. But just about a month ago, I was like, I really need to just go to another continent. It has been too long, actually, since I have done that. So I'm going to be going to Australia. I think Sydney is number one in terms of like city that I would like to go to, but the more I'm researching, the more I actually want to possibly do another city too. But I'll be honest, I am a little bit scared to go to Australia just because of all the creepy crawlers, that you may hear about Australia. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot have any more interactions with animals that I am not knowing that they're coming at me, like literally trying to kill me. So I am nervous about that, but I will be going to Australia. Already paid for my visa. It is going to be in the books within the year, and I will definitely be traveling and sharing all the Black-owned businesses that I go to.
That's excellent. You'll love Australia.
It's beautiful. The entire conversation is just, first of all, it's so much joy because it's hopeful. It's something to look forward to. But then it's also very grounded because you ladies are actually doing it in real time and in real life. And you're doing it not for the money, but for the impact, for the influence, for being able to shine light on other people's story. And so I think when you align those two things, there's only one way that you can do it, and you're going to win regardless, right? And then now that you guys just manifested these things, I know I'm going to go back to my drawing board and see what I know. But also, Block is, while we are still very much a baby startup, um, we're a home exchange marketplace, right? And so, in the wake of short term rental, having all of these conflicts, people are wanting to still be able to travel. And I tell people, think Airbnb minus the fee, right? And so as we build our brand and as we build our legacy, we do want to have influencers who can help tell a story from our lens, how we think about it, how we travel, right? Because the culture of travel is different, right? And so we can also figure out some ways to go and grow and see who's in my network because you ladies are already killing it. You're dropping gems, creating ebooks, going to Australia. I mean, Maurice, this is you really killed, you knocked it out the park with the closing 8-part series here.
Well, listen, I look for talented and authentic people that are willing to be open and genuine about their passion. And so, it's my job to put them on a platform, on a stage, so that they can get even more experience and notoriety. And with that said, come to the Black Travel Expo. I'm keeping it open for $99 for a full expo pass for the full experience. And so it's going to be quite interesting. Every year it grows. Every year it gets better. Every year it gets more exciting, and I'm enjoying the journey myself. I'm going to try to do more documentation as far as a kind of pseudo content creator of my journey, because a lot of people don't know what my journey is as the creator of the Black Travel Expo and what I have to go through on a daily basis to make sure that all of this comes together. So Dumandi, you just asked when and where. The Black Travel Expo is in Atlanta, Georgia, October the 17th, 18th, and 19th. That's a Thursday. Well, it's really Thursday evening. We do the kickoff like around 7 o'clock in the evening, but there's the full days are the 18th and 19th in Atlanta at the Thompson Atlanta Buckhead. You can go to blacktravelexpo.co for more information and look at the schedule, look at the speakers, see who the sponsors are, and purchase your expo pass as well. And we also have the hotel information, the host hotel as well. I think we've got about maybe 10 rooms left in our inventory. So go ahead and book as soon as possible and come have a great time, be entertained. Oh, this is what I wanted to mention, networking. There's the Black Travel Expo is a huge platform for networking because everybody comes together and we're one big family. And so if you don't talk, how is anyone going to know what your needs are and where you are in your stage, especially being a content creator? And then the vendors as well. I still have vendors that call me and say, hey, if it wasn't for this content creator coming by the table, we would not have been able to work out something so that my product and services can get out there to the masses, and that's what it's all about as well, that collaboration of getting with those vendors or exhibitors to see what their needs are to get their products and services out there and collaborate in that way. So yeah, I'm excited for this year, and I'm going to do my best to do better at putting out some content. My background is in journalism. I should just do this with my eyes closed, right? But yeah, I'm at a different point in my life where I need to kind of prioritize certain other things. And to do this as fun, for me when I have some spare time. So yeah. So if you can come out to the Black Travel Expo in Atlanta, October the 17th, 18th, and 19th, come out, have a good time, and have a great time.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, ladies, both for joining us. The gyms were awesome. Everybody go and follow their pages right now while you guys are joining the conversation because they're going to continue to inspire us. And we're going to live through them as they continue to take their journey around the world, introducing us to new businesses, new Black owned businesses, tell amazing stories, and do it with a huge why behind it. Um, we have officially done our 8-part Instagram live series for Black Travel Expo. Thank you so much, Maurice, for um, sharing your every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. with me. It's been amazing. And this one was beautiful for us to close out. We're hoping to see everybody at the expo and be great.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I really appreciate the time taken to do this, and I cannot wait to see everyone in Atlanta. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
See you in Atlanta.
Yeah.